Hey, my name's Dwayne at Everything Musical, and I wanted to show you another special treat. This is actually my personal Fantom 8, purchased here from the store. A Roland Fantom 8 88 key keyboard and synthesizer and workstation and my baby. I love it. This is allowing me to take my production capabilities anywhere that I want to go, to both record as well as to play live sets as well, with matchless capability. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't get it sooner. So I wanted to bring this to your attention so that you can know what we have the ability to order for you, or if you ever wanted to come out, you can play it yourself on one of the lighter models, or order your own Fantom 8. We have the Fantom 6 on the floor right now. Just today I wanted to discuss a few things about how you too can create a whole song fit with all of Roland's samples, but in a way that brings your own twist to it. Because it has a full synthesizer workstation on here, you can edit any sound to your content. You can even record, you can plug in a microphone to access the built-in vocoder, which is also accessible by all of the oscillators and filters and envelopes and effects that you can think of. You can do it here on this keyboard. So before we actually jump into the production side, if you draw your attention to the screen here, you'll actually be able to see where my menu has displayed all of my presets, all of my menus. You're able to customize it as you wish, but because I'm a live performer as well as a recording performer, I have a set list specific for all of my different keyboard sounds. It's my second one, and when I press the pattern screen, I have a 16-channel track view to choose from all of those instruments that I've preset into this pattern. It's very easy to find all of these sounds. You can either press them on the interface lining the right side of the keyboard here. So if instead of a deep concert piano as I've listed, and I want an electric piano instead, I press the button, and here's my menu for it. You can scroll using the scroll wheel, or you can press the screen because it is a touch screen interface as well. So just for now, I'm actually going to put my electric piano back on there because I really like that sound. And draw your attention then to the left side of the keyboard, where you have a physical manifestation of your 16-track view that was on the screen before. If you're playing like so, and you want to play a second sound as well, on my second track here I have strings. You can individually control the levels for those strings. Lower the strings to obscurity, or amplify them higher than the piano. And control them live. So obviously this is a very good tool for live performances. In fact, I used it last week. So it was wonderful the way that you're able to transition from sound to sound, add as many sounds as you want, which, speaking of which, if we were to bring it to our Motional Pad setting, you have all of your zones for the first 4 zones playing at the same time. You can take the draw wheel and determine what you want more. So you can have the perfect mixture between all of your sounds. I'm going to exit out of here just so we can start getting into the actual song creation. On the screen here, I have a song that's called Pray For You. It's one of my originals, and it's one that I constructed entirely inside of this Fantom. I created it, and I made a save point for it. It's called a scene, which is where you're going to be editing your sounds, you're going to be editing your patterns. And if we bring this scene to the pattern view, you'll see all 8 tracks that I used to compose this piece of music. The first track is a piano, as you can see on the screen. The second one is a pad, a form of synthesizer. The third track is my bass guitar. The fourth, strings. Fifth, electric piano. Sixth, choir. Seventh is an acoustic bass. And eighth is a jazz kit. That's all built into this piano. You'll see that also when I selected this scene, all of my track view on the hard section of the piano changed. That's because when I press this pattern, it brings up what I've already recorded. And so if I wanted to play this song live, all it takes is for me to press the view like so. What you're hearing right now is the intro to my song, which if you didn't want to listen to the piano play, you could always mute it. And you're left with just the drums, so maybe you wanted to play this instrument live with your built-in band or with your built-in song. You could do that if you wanted to. Or if you wanted to just lower those sounds just a little bit, you can directly control those levels just like we discussed before. You can also change the pan. What I did for the creation of this song was set the pan at what you could expect your average band to be playing from the audience's perspective. So I have the pan for the drummer set to the same pan as the bassist, and I have the piano set off to the opposite side of the imaginary stage, just to get a little bit closer to an authentic sound. That's something that I desire for my music. But what's cool about these analog switches and digital switches is that you're also able to assign the functionality. So you can go beyond just pan. You can do many other features as well. I have not explored those features yet, so if you can find a good function for them, you let me know. Come up here and show me. So this was the first pattern. What I did was I created different sections. As you can see, I have A through H. Even though you're able to press each individual letter, what really comes next is to group these letters to become specific parts of your song. And so let's say I wanted to turn letter A into my introduction, which is what I did. I pressed the grouping button, and then I press the set button. It will automatically set that pattern at a 1 measure length. And then when I come to my group setting, which can be done on the screen or which can be done on the workflow analog section of the screen, of the keyboard. Once you click it, it'll bring you to the group list screen. Right here, you'll already see that I've populated all of my groups, but it will start off as initial group, or the abbreviation for such. You can then change the length for how long you want this group setting to be. Me, I wanted it to be the full 16 count. But to be honest, I recorded 32 counts first, so I was able to turn it from my full 32 count to 16 measures instead. Slowly but surely, I built my song from here with my first verse, with my second part of my first verse and chorus, bridge, solos, etc. And then I turned them into a song. On my song screen here, if I activate my song screen and press the play button, it will highlight the section of the song that's currently playing, and it will play it live as well. If this is a live performance and you want to skip to a certain section, let's say I want to just skip to my solo because I'm selfish, I can press the skip button and gray out everything else. So that's a quick overview of how to use the song selection and creation screens. But here's one thing I do want to also point out, in case you have one of these and you're watching this for tutorial purposes. Please save often. Please save often. This is the way that you save, because there's nothing in the instruction book that's going to tell you this either. I've made maybe 7 or 8 things on this keyboard, and because I did not know how to save, they were lost forever. So, press the right button. It's right there to the left of the screen. You're going to press the right button, and so I don't overwrite what I have here, I'm going to come to a new scene and go to the pattern view. When you press the right button, you press scene if you want to save it as a scene. You can rename it to whatever you want. We're going to name this to demo. And it will save. It will ask you if you're sure first. So be sure that what you created is actually there, and then make sure that you do not click out of that pattern into another pattern or another scene before you've written this if you want to save it. Do caution yourself as well, because when you export via USB, it will chop up the sections of your creation track by track. It is not as easy as just exporting it to USB and plugging it straight into the computer. All of these are just cautionary, but it is entirely possible to create something completely on the Fantom 8. Another impressive thing that you'll find about the Fantom is that you can use it for any number of purposes in a studio or live, and it's all supported by the built-in in and outputs. If you look along the back, you'll have a headphone jack that can always monitor exactly the mix that's coming out while not impeding the other outputs. You have left and right balanced XLR. You have a main out left and right. You have sub outs as well in case you wanted to hook into a studio mix of your own design or into a live studio. This can sit in the studio and never move. You have an analog filter out, CV gate out. You have 2 CV gate outs, in fact. You have USB memory and computer. You have 3 external devices. You have it as a MIDI controller, so you can MIDI it on up too. You have 2 mic line inputs. You have 4 foot controller pedals options. And then you have a MIDI in, a MIDI out, and a MIDI through. All of that is built into the Fantom.